Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Vetting America, episode 22. I'm your host, Adam T. Cummings, and today's show features Eric Grundhoefer, current CEO of two ventures, Rank.K.O and Vanity Social. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, man, no problem. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm honored to have all you here today with us. If you feel that any veteran could benefit from the information that Eric's about to give us, and or if you feel that you want to support us anyway, just give me a shout out, direct message me on Facebook, or add me on LinkedIn, Instagram. You can email me anytime. Before we get going, I'd like to make a quick shout out to our sponsors, Chris Chrismistos of podfest.us, Richard McIntyre of McIntyreFirm.com, and of course, our amazing executive producer, Anthony Kovic. So let's jump right into it, Eric. Give us a brief synopsis of what you're into now, you know, what are the companies about, the positions, and your vision for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Rank.K.O is my main business.
Okay.
And it's really, both my businesses are completely about content creation, but the purpose shifts per business. So Rank.K.O is a cool brand. It's where I make all my money. I don't make any money off of Vanity Social. It's too new. But we're gonna. That's all I want to do eventually, and I want my whole entire brand to be encompassed under the Vanity name. Okay. So as you know, I also have the clothing line too, so that aligns with Vanity. Rank.K.O is, you know, it's all about it's about search engine optimization, and it's about online reputation management. Okay. So we say we can handle anything within the search engines, right? Yeah. So suppression for, you know, if you get a DWI or something, you come to me and you're like, oh, hey, I can't get a job now because I have this awful news link, so I could help suppress that, so that way you can get work, right? We do that with individuals or businesses.
So it's almost like brand yourself, that one company.
It's like reverse brand yourself almost, because that's why I said the purpose is different. So then there's the other end. So then SEO is, you know, we create content every single month in and month out to get you guys an ROI. Okay. So like, you know, we'll do the keyword research, and then we'll create a page for, let's say you're in public affairs. We'll create a page for your public affairs service. We'll write 300 to 500 words, and then you have an at-bat ranking at that for that keyword, right? So we'll do that with, you know, create 20 pages a month, 30 pages a month, 40 pages a month, 50 pages a month of articles, 300, 500 word unique articles, and put them on a person's site every single month. So that's the difference between those. And then Vanity Social on the other end is more about, so that's written content really, but Vanity Social is about, you know, video content, podcasting, becoming an author. Like, we've helped people release Amazon ebooks, and then Amazon does all the fulfillment. So you design the cover, people can purchase them from your site, and then you know, they're an author. They literally have an Amazon link with author in their name, and you can sell those books to people. And photography and just all the things. Rank.K.O is not that fun, but it's a good brand, and I love it, and like, we help people. Vanity, I want to be like Vanity Social, I want to be really, really fun. I want, it's like more of my passion and like what I want to do. Yes. Exactly. So, and then I want that to be my main business as we go, but still have Rank.K.O because it is helping a lot of people, small and medium-sized businesses and individuals.
Absolutely. And so, Vanity, which has a bad connotation for the most part in this society, why did you choose to call it Vanity Social, and what's the implications behind it?
So, Vanity, it's a weird kind of long process, but Vanity Social, first off, was like, I didn't know what I wanted it to be. I just knew that I wanted the name because of the concept. So when I had this domain, vanitysocial.com, it was nothing a year ago. So when I started, though, I was like, okay, we're going to put this on the back burner, but I'm going to take this logo that I've created and this brand and this concept and turn it into a clothing line. Okay. So like this shirt that I'm wearing, you know, this is a Vanity shirt. It's all minimal branding on the back, but like Vanity is like, it's loud and in your face.
He brought me some swag, so I'll definitely, when I get somebody to come over here, we'll bring the hat on, we'll show you the logo and everything.
Yeah. So the whole concept is like, you know, vanity in society is a bad thing, like you said, but we want people, I want to flip it. I want my brand to be like kind of a walking contradiction. Like, vanity by itself is awful, but we want to like encourage people as they're wearing our brand to, you know, bring the best version of themselves, because we think that best version of themselves can bring out the best in other people as well. It's so common for this, like in society nowadays, I'll use money as an example. Everyone complains about, oh, I don't have money for this, I don't have money for that, right? I am broke, and it's so accepted. And you see a post like that on Facebook, you see everyone jump in, it's okay, you'll get past it, they get all the sympathy in the world. On the other end, Eric goes, oh my God, I made $10,000 today, this was fantastic. Crickets. Zero, right? Because it's so, like, why is it like that? Why can you talk about being broke, but you can't talk about making it? So I want to flip it, and I want this brand to encompass, like, bring your best, be your best, talk about your best, show your best, and tell other people how you do it. But at the same time, be more than that. Stay humble. Be proud, be humble, but be more than vanity, which is why it's the contradiction.
And it's important because, you know, we're in two completely different parts of our lives and career-wise. We're the same age. She's 29, I'm 29. And yet we understand each other. Like we were talking about before, I'm just getting started. I'm only a year in. You're 7, 8 years in now.
Right.
And because of that, you understand where I'm at. You understand the struggle, the grind, the hustle that at this point. And that it's really important for people like me who are putting in the time and effort, and it's coming, but it's not, and it's not breaking, and you're losing your mind sometimes, where you go, hey man, I made $10,000 today, but I understand where you're at, because there was a point where I wasn't even making anything for months.
Exactly.
And so I understand where you're at. Stay in there, stick to it, keep going. It will happen. It will happen for you.
Exactly.
And that's where I see Vanity Social coming into play, is not only being your biggest cheerleader, you know, supporting yourself and building your personal brand and being proud of that person, but also it's to show people that I've been where you're at. This is what I did to get there, and just by not quitting, I was able to find the success that I was seeking for so long. So that's very powerful.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's the clothing line, and then Vanity Social, obviously it's the same logo, it's the same concept, only instead of clothing and being that yourself, where Vanity Social is more about creating the best types of content and showing your best online and doing your best online, because
using
we
it
believe
for the right reason.
Exactly, and using your voice like you are, like you're helping people and doing that, and you're bringing your best version of yourself every single day, every time you do one of these shows. And we want people to do that too, because literally I believe this within my soul, one piece of content can change your life. One.
Yes.
Someone could find it. You could literally, someone could see your show tomorrow that's working for the frickin' Bay News 9, and they're like, oh my God, dude, we want you on the show. You do that show, and then you're launched into stardom. Who knows?
Exactly.
But that's why we want to help people create the best forms of content that show their best side. And that's how we've merged those brands, and that's why I love that brand, Vanity.
Will you do some like content coaching? So a big thing, my one friend, she's been trying for years to make a video.
Yeah.
20, 30 takes. She's like, I hate it. I can't do it. I believe it has to do a little bit with a little insecurity. Sometimes you just got to put it out raw.
Right.
My first video I ever put out, man, I almost cried when it was rendering. I was just like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And it ended up taking off. And I got really good response from it. What would you give some people who are having a hard time finding their voice, finding their message, and being their authentic self to push their truth out there to help more people?
I think it's twofold. I think some people, they know within their hearts, like, I know I need to be on video because I can't write for shit, right? I can't write. But maybe your friend is just, she's wanting to be on video, but maybe that's not her thing. So like you have to kind of have that self-awareness to go, maybe written word is my thing. Maybe I'm a blogger. Maybe I'm just a podcast only and I'm only audio because I'm comfortable like that. Maybe video's not her thing. On the other end, my first video sucked as well. Like, I'm sure you watched yours and you were probably embarrassed as hell if you watch that now. Now, you got to get over that first one. You got to get over that second one. And if you don't do it, you're never going to get better at it. So it's like a combination of both. Know yourself, know which one you need to do, but then like whether it's writing, whether it's audio, whether it's video, but also like you might need to push through the first couple to realize you're good at this.
Just, you know, I have a good example. So my buddy does 3D VR rendering design. He's worked on Spider-Man, he's worked on
that's really
Thor
cool.
Ragnarok.
That's so neat.
Crazy. But how he got his start was he put together a portfolio. His first ever render he ever did was terrible. Yeah. But he kept trying for 6 months. And the amount of growth he showed in 6 months landed him an internship at Sony. Oh, wow. So he had to end up moving to Canada and landed an internship at Sony, not because he was the best at the time, but it was because what he showed was that growth in 6 months. Like you told me your story when you first started selling for that guy you met. It took 3 months, you didn't make a dime. Not a dime. And all of a sudden, boom, you stuck to it, you figured it out, and then started taking off from there. So again, I believe it's getting out of your own way, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, and being okay with the end product. Absolutely. It's not about the end results, it's about the journey you take getting there. So that's incredible. Yeah, 100%. And then like I think like a real tactical approach to that, honestly, rather than like, oh, just push through or pick which one. Literally sit down and go, these are the types of content that there is. Like, so we've identified photo, video. Photo really would be hard to tell a story, but everyone can take photos. Video, audio, or blog. Tell all three of your story, like your story the exact same way, write it down, then do a video about it, and then do an audio about it, and then put it out, and then see which one takes off, or see which one you liked yourself better in. And I think that that's more of a practical, like,
tactical approach that you could actually do to get actual results, not just go, oh, I think I like video. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%. And I truly believe in being intentional and focused on whatever you do. And when I first started this thing, I thought, oh, it's going to be so easy to build a social media brand. I'll go viral. It'll be great. It'll be, dude, it's not easy.
Right.
It's really hard to capture people's attention. It's really hard to sustain it. And it's really hard to make them think differently than they are thinking right now.
Right.
And I'm not here to change the world. I'm here to just provide people with the tools and resources that change themselves.
Right.
Be the change you want to see in the world, grow your brand, and help those around you. I truly believe that. And speaking of, he's not a veteran. He's a civilian, but he's doing work with a Scott Morris, correct?
Scott Morris. Scott is such a nice guy. Scott went to this Tony Robbins event, and if you guys, everyone knows Tony Robbins. He's huge in motivational speaking, obviously. Yes. And you know, it cost $10,000 a ticket to go to this, first off. So he went with people, and then there's 2,800 people there, and Scott wins like, you know, I think around $1 million worth of capital to support his cause. So he calls me and he's like, I was already working on his business website. He calls me and goes, I need a website. All 2,800 people are assigned a project and we want to win. And my project is a nonprofit called handupnow.org. And it's about handupnow.org. And it's about taking, you know, 22, their first project is going to be, it's The Power Within with Tony Robbins. They're essentially taking 22 vets and they're raising money to send these people to The Power Within with Tony Robbins to give them the necessary business skills and just skills in general that they're going to need to be productive members of society to make them the best versions of themselves. So that's what handupnow.org is all about. And Scott was just like, I need you to build this. We threw together a site. We made sure, you know, everything was connected. We were really there, like, he set this all up. He's such a nice dude, and we were really just there for like the technical, like social media support, getting it out there, making sure it was a real brand, and it's really great. I'm super pumped about it.
But it seems to have changed your mindset a little bit from meeting him and being a part of that, because you weren't doing anything with veterans before, and now you have something you're working on right now, right? So he's working on. You want to start actually raising funds for veteran organizations and resources. Correct?
Right. So actually why it piqued my interest was the hats that I mentioned earlier. Yes. Those came before handupnow.org. They weren't those ones. I'll send you one that we do have. But the hat is from Vanity. We want to create those, and then all the profits that we want to take from that, we want to donate half to Scott, and then the other half to this a buddy of mine in Pensacola. His name's Rob. He's part of this project RTF, Project Remember the Fallen. So I met Rob first, and then I committed to selling the hats and giving some of the portion of the money to Rob. And then shortly after I met Scott, and I said, I'm going to give you the other half.
Okay. So how can we find these hats? How can people buy them, donate, be a part of this?
The veterans hats will be here soon. They're in production right now.
We'll
absolutely. I will show you guys, if you guys want to go to _vanity on our Instagram, you guys can see, you know, what the hat looks like, and it's a veteran specific hat. So like we have multiple hats. This one's specifically for the vets. That's the one that's going to take off, and it's actually my favorite one that we have that we've created out of all of them. So
okay, why do you think it's important that we bridge the gaps between the civilian sector of entrepreneurship and the veteran sector of entrepreneurship? It seems like you're starting to realize the power that working with veterans are. I know the power of working with civilians. You can't do this alone out here.
Right.
And beyond just wanting to give back, what is the value you're getting from starting to work with more veteran entrepreneurs and be active in these communities?
I've not seen any, my fault. I've not seen any, because this is all so new. But you know, the reason for me why I got into this, my cousin and one of my best friends, his name's McCullough Stokes. He's in the Air Force. He's in Dubai right now. He's doing really cool stuff. He's traveled. I've seen that. I'd say 9 out of 10 of my closest friends growing up with, I grew up in a really small town. 9 out of 10 of those guys are all in the military. And you know, I had the opportunity to go when I was 17, 6 months before I turned 18. My mom said no. And the fact is, you know, I was too big of a pussy to go when I turned 18, and it wasn't a thought in my head. I don't regret anything like that. But then there's just, I'm really happy with where I'm at. But I don't know why, but that always melded together for me. And I was like, oh, would I still be doing what I'm doing if I did that? Yes. And it's kind of just looking back on it and being self-aware. And it's like, you know, kind of like you're like, someone's gotta be there. Someone's gotta be doing this stuff. And it's no one else really is stepping up in these certain types of ways. So when the opportunities present themselves, I jump on them because I just think it's right. And like I said, I mean, I think it's amazing that these vets are doing all these things and no one is helping them, so someone has to, you know?
100%. And by you stepping up, being just, you know, from the civilian sector and joining forces with us, community over competition is everything to me.
Right.
And this is going to build Tampa even stronger. The more we bring civilians and veterans together, the more we bring people of different movements, people of different backgrounds, and we just try to support every single person in whatever dream they have, it's a snowball effect.
Right.
And greatness will come from it, and it already has. So tell us a little bit more about your entrepreneurial journey. I know you have a really good story, man. I really love. This is a story of broke. This is a story back against the wall.
Yeah.
You have no other choice but to succeed.
Yeah, man. It was nuts. You know, I was telling you a little bit earlier. Found out my girlfriend at the time when I was going to college got pregnant. I was working. I got the first job that would take me. It was like cleaning gym equipment, right? And then you know, I talked my way into working days. I was working overnights at the time, making dirt money. We were dirt poor. I was living with my mom. I forget how old I was. I was like 20 or something like that. Yeah, like 19, 20. And it was awful, you know? So I dropped out of college because I need to work more. So finally work more. I meet this guy, and he literally changed my life. I still talk to him. He's one of my closest friends. His name's Mike Wakefield. He lives in Connecticut. He was the regional manager of a personal training firm at a company called Professional Fitness. Professional Fitness, you know, the gym I was working for was World Gym. Long story short, I ended up working for them, and he talked me into selling personal training, right? And I was like, this is cool. I like fitness and everything, and I'm super excited. But I sucked at it. I was awful at it. So like three months straight, no sales, 0 sales. I was making no money.
You were pulling like 15-hour days.
Like, yeah, it was the hours were 7 to 7 in the gym, sales training every single day. You also had to work. That was 7 to 7 Monday through Friday. Saturday I had to work 9 to 3, but it took me an hour to get there every single time. So I was miserable, right? I get my first sale, $160 a month. For 12 months, it's $19.20, 15% commission on that. I was commission only at the time. It's $288. I remember that because that changed my life.
Yeah, that saved you probably
every single day. That was actually the lowest deal they offered. I sold 3 of those a day every single day because so my whole entire sales mentality was set 8 appointments a day. 6 of them will actually show up to their appointments. I'll close 3 of them. And I had to do that every single day. So after I did this for 8 to 12 months, and I was absolutely miserable because I didn't see my family. I barely saw my son Logan, who's 8 now. I barely saw him. Like, it was ridiculous when he was growing up. I opened up my own training firm. Loved the training, loved it. Started selling all this. Made all this money. I had 2 other partners. I was like, you know, it was when Facebook just started. And I wasn't doing anything out of the norm. I was just like talking to people about fitness on Facebook, like commenting, like, oh, you should do this, come on into the gym, like check stuff out. I liked the marketing portion better than I liked training people, even though I still love fitness.
Oh, yeah.
But so I sold my company to my 2 other partners, went and worked for the first company that I don't know how I got a job for. It's called Hearst Media. The company was local, it's called Local Edge, but Hearst Media owned them. And then I learned everything I wanted about marketing, and they sold the shittiest product in the world. They're still a company, by the way, but like seriously, don't go with Local Edge. I'm sorry. Just being real. I'm not saying my product's amazing, but my service and customer service is better than their product ever will be. But they
heard it here first.
Yeah, they lock you into 12-month contracts, which I don't agree with. No. They don't do a lot of work. They're giving you an awful product. You don't keep any of the content, which doesn't make any sense to me in a 2018 world. This was a while ago.
Yeah.
But so I was miserable there too, and I was like, all right. So I went and worked for their competition called Town Square Interactive. They were partnered with radio stations, so I got to be in like the local radio station scene, and it was really cool. And then they're a startup company based out of Charlotte. They actually went public after 2 years, so they crushed it. And like it was the first time I was exposed to like startup culture, people shooting each other with Nerf guns, ringing gongs every time you got a sale. It was really, really neat. But they also sold a crappy product, crappy service. So I was like, there's this white space of reputation management, right? So I leave. I asked my wife. I was like, can I go now? Like I don't want to work for anyone anymore. I've been miserable. So I leave there the next day. It was a Tuesday. I leave, and on Wednesday I just left like I would normally go to work, and I went and sold a $400 website, and I didn't know how I was going to build it. I told the guys, like, I'm going to build you guys a website, like whatever. It was like a car company in Niagara Falls. And I took $200 of that. I talked a developer that I randomly met into building a website for $200 to put the other $200 back in the company, and that's how my business was born. Wow. Built off that one sale. And then
all it takes, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. So then I was just grinding. I was like, okay, so I took the same sales mentality, 863, set 8 appointments a day, 6 of them will show, 3 of them will close. I started doing that with my websites, with SEO. We started small, like every other marketing company, you know, crappy website here, you know, SEO services there, and it wasn't what it is today. And then I saw, like I said, I saw this white space of reputation management, and that's when I was like, all these companies that I worked for offered this, but they don't do it. They're not doing it right. And so I accidentally was branding myself and reverse branding myself. And when you Google Eric Grundhoefer, out of all the Eric Grundhoefers in the world, I own page 1. And that's the whole entire point of this. So I reverse engineered what I was doing, and then I started doing that for other people, and then I started to scale it, and then I started adding more content, adding things to it. Then I got a team behind me. Then I was like, okay, now we're onto something here. And then now people pay me $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month.
Yeah, like, because I know that feeling.
It's sick.
When you sit back and you look at what you've just done, and you go, there's something here.
Yeah,
it really is.
I got this. I'm onto something.
I don't
right
know
now.
exactly what I'm doing, but I'm doing it.
Exactly.
And it's working.
And you just do it until you figure it out. And I've messed up, and I've failed, and I've screwed up services, and I've messed up on clients along the way, and like I've apologized through my teeth. Yeah. And you just got to keep freaking doing it. And like that's one of my favorite things is like not the definition of success, but what separates people from being successful is like the people that don't stop.
That's it. Don't quit.
Yeah.
Before the magic happens.
Yeah, exactly. So don't stop. Like if you fail and you hit, you know, you're like, oh my God, my business is going out of business. This is awful. Don't stop. Just keep going, and you don't let yourself fail if you keep going.
Just the last 2 weeks alone, I've just been what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, how do I move forward? What am I missing? And just praying and meditating and asking. But the one thing that never crossed my mind is that I'm going to quit.
Right.
There is no other path, man.
You can't.
Not when you find your purpose. Not when you find something that lights you on fire every day.
Yeah, man.
And so what I started doing is I started going back to the beginning of this whole thing for myself and reimagining why I started this journey, reimagining why I chose to sacrifice instant gratification for something that's just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And over the last, I'd say, a couple of days, I've refocused on this is why I'm doing it. I remember now why I'm doing what I'm doing. Past all the lack, I'm starting to refocus on the abundance that I have in my life because of this path that I've joined. And so it's really powerful to hear your story because it's all about adversity and overcoming it. And that's such a big aspect of being an entrepreneur. And that's a big aspect of even just being a veteran, trying to repurpose and recreate yourself out here, is just try stuff out, fail, and get back up and keep going.
Yep.
It's okay.
100%.
It's okay to not be okay at times. It's okay to just not have the energy to do anything. You know, like that's the thing is you have energy 24/7 all the time, then I feel like you're doing enough. You know, sometimes you need to burn out and go down just to see, what do I need to be doing? What do I need to learn right now that's going to help me get to that next level?
Exactly.
Because it's very easy being busy. You know, becoming busy, just being busy is like, I'm the king of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's finding that focus and that intent and going forward. So why is Rank.K.O so important, and what is your competitive advantage that has made it so successful?
I always say, and I'm actually not a big sports person, but I've played, you know, baseball, basketball, football, basketball, street league, but everything else for actual sport. But I always use this analogy, you know, the Buffalo Bills, they win a different way. Sometimes they win. They win a different way than the Jets, you know,
Jets
win. Jersey, New York. So, but they win two different ways, right? So my way that I win for my clients is a completely different way that the guy down the street wins, right? That's
important.
So I like to make sure I explain to that, because people think they hear SEO or online reputation management, they think there's only one way to do it, and there's not. You know, Google has always, as everyone knows, is always changing their algorithm. They're always doing different things. So with the online reputation management aspect of it, we throw content at it day in and day out. And our answer to every question and every solution is content, and branding. And that's all we have to do, right? And it's just mass quantities of content. And if it sucks, it sucks. But if it's good, that's awesome too. Like that's why we
trial
don't.
And error.
Exactly.
Trying to figure out what your audience likes, what it doesn't like.
Exactly. And then so there's other people though that'll be like technical SEO all the way. We need meta tags, title tags, this, that, the other thing. And it's like, oh, okay, maybe 6 years ago, but like now it's this because Google's so linguistically relevant, and that's what you want to move to. So it's, you know, we just win a different way. We win in our own way, and we win the way that I know how to win. And people need to know that there's not only one way to win.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, everyone wins differently.
And every company needs something different. Like you have a more technical company that probably needs that technical SEO.
Right.
But then you have that online reputation management, and you need those keywords and that message, that brand, that consistent thought that goes into your audience and resonates with them.
Right.
To which makes them coming back wanting to consume your content. And I mean, it was either me completely cut off social media altogether or realize it's such a strong, powerful weapon for what I'm trying to do, which is just educate, motivate, and inspire people to just go a little extra to obtain a little more.
Right.
And that goes on to, you know, so how did you conceptualize Vanity Social from all this?
Well, as I said, the brand Vanity, like it was like a weird thing how it happened, but so the clothing line.
You bought the domain
and I didn't know what I wanted it to be.
So where did that come from? Tell that story.
Because Rank.K.O specializes in search and within the search results, right? Like that's what we take care of. The world is not. It's right now still. I mean, yeah, SEO works. Yes, you're going to get a return. Yes, certain clients can win, but the thing is like this is a social world, and there's still people that you have to convince that social media is a real thing. Like you said, that social media is a powerful tool.
Yes.
Like that is insane.
Yes.
It is 2018, and I'm still trying to convince, you know, Joe Smith down the street that his plumbing business needs to be on Facebook.
Please.
Yeah, like it's just weird to me. Like I can't comprehend it. So the shift was, I know what I want this to be. I don't know how I want this to be though. I don't know what processes I need in place to get this done. What team do I need in place to get this done? So that was the reason for because I didn't know what it was yet, and I didn't have these processes set up, I put it on the back burner. I focused on Rank.K.O, making sure my money's good there, and then I created this cool brand, Vanity, from it, that in hindsight, actually I got lucky because Vanity is such a neat brand, clothing line. It's like the vibe of it that it gives people, like people really like it. So when I launched Vanity Social, it seemed like we were already around. And they were like, wow, this is really, really cool.
Groundwork.
Yeah, so it was super neat, man. And it's just stuff that I love.
And again, it goes to show the way you kind of bring disruptive mentality into starting a business. You lay your groundwork first. So a lot of people mess up when they start a business because they build it and expect people to come.
Right.
You generated demand. You generated a brand. You continued to put Vanity out there to people who are like, I like this. What is this all about? And all of a sudden, when you launched another company behind it, people already know about the Vanity clothing brand and what you stand for. They know who you are through that.
Yeah.
They're like, what is this company about? You already have built trust with your, and that's probably a loyal following base at that point. Right?
Yeah,
so
pretty loyal following base. We run a lot of contests. Like I said, Vanity Social and Vanity, just keeping everything real. I don't make any money off of that yet. I've invested a lot of money into both, but just, you know, Vanity Social is still fairly new within the last 6 months, but we finally have everything in place. We're finally creating content for ourselves. We're finally branding ourselves as that. And, you know, a lot of the clothes that we've made, we give them away to people that we meet, and that's what you have to do when you start. So Vanity, in my opinion, the clothing line should be turning some profit now. I haven't given it enough attention as I should, but now that I have Vanity Social, and now it's all merging together. And now when my team, my team is going to be wearing, you know, I want my team to be wearing shirts all the time. They can wear whatever the hell they want, but I want my team to be wearing shirts and hats, and I want our stuff to be
pins.
Exactly, like a little bit of everything.
You have to wear a pin if you work in the office.
Not just the V
just
right
the
there.
V for victory.
So yeah, man, it's going well.
So let's move a little bit into the psychology behind building personal brands and why it's so important to build an authentic social media presence alongside your business brand, your personal brand, and everything you're doing. Why should people leverage this amazing gift that social media is, change their mindset about it from being evil to being good, and why authenticity is key, especially in 2018?
I feel like everyone, authenticity-wise, everyone knows when they're being lied to. Like every single person, you know, real and not real. Like, and like me being real, like you can see that I'm not sitting here bullshitting you, going, "Oh, Rank.K.O is a 30-person company, and we're doing this and we're doing that." Like it's not that. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just, real is better, and like same in real life. You don't like being lied to. No one does.
No one wants to be
so
sold.
that's why it's the best. And then backing up a little bit, like. I've said this to you before. You can't worry about how many followers you have, how many likes you're getting, how many of that. Like that is the wrong way to go, because in real life, sitting here right now, I've never once wondered how many things have you liked that I just said right now. I've never wondered that in my head. I've never went, how many friends do I have?
So what's the mindset that we should be going about building our social media presence?
Stay real, be yourself. And you know, this is, I forget who said this, but social media doesn't it exposes you. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't change you. It exposes you for who you really are. Sure. So if you're authentic and you're a good human, you're gonna be exposed as a good human. If you're helping people, you're gonna be exposed as helping people. And just stay true to yourself, stay true to your beliefs, and stop. It's not a numbers game. It's literally about providing people value, just like in real life. In a conversation that you're having at a dinner table, if I'm not gonna sit here and go, this is about me, this is about me, this is about me, this is about me, bye.
That's how I started my personal brand. Yeah. People are like, Adam just never stops talking about himself. Yeah. And it wasn't because I was all about myself, it was because I was trying to convince people that I should exist in that room with them.
Exactly, man. And it's hard. And it has to be a juggle, though, because you have to tell people enough about you to get them interested in you and give them a background, but like not be just like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, I don't want to speak to you.
Vain.
Exactly. Don't be vanity. Be more.
Yeah. Is that the slogan?
Yeah, be more, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Vanity, be more.
I like it.
But yeah, man, it's just keep it real. Produce as much content as you can, and then once you do that and people realize like the exposed you, the real you can take that and you can leverage that. And in 10 years from now, when freaking everyone, it is really the long game. In 10 years, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when people aren't searching, you know, on Google for things anymore, because they're already not, when it's just a Facebook only world, a Twitter only world, you know, Snapchat only world, you're going to be so happy that you have that. And because, you know, one of the things that I live by is you're only as good as your last piece of content. And like that's like really, I think it's huge. Like, I don't know, man, like I've always been like that. I've always been fascinated with movies and making movies.
Psychology.
Exactly. And like I love
storytelling.
Exactly. And it's like the best. And if you do that and you do it well, you're gonna go really far. And storytelling has been around for so long, like caveman shit.
Before they even could draw or write or anything, it was all word of mouth. We grew as a species.
Exactly.
And that's why we've grown so quickly over the last 100 years, 50 years, 10 years, is because we're so well connected and we're always storytelling now.
Right.
And those stories inspire everybody else. So explain to people why social media shouldn't be about you while completely being about you. So the way I explain it is, your social media should be about you so your audience can learn more of who you are and what you stand for, what your morals are, and just you as a general person. But your entire presence should be about who you're trying to serve. And at the end of the day, that's all you're trying to do is serve other people. And through service, we can grow. Through service, we have purpose. And so, why is it so important to grow your personal brand alongside your business brand to bring value to both?
Me personally, this is why I did it. I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying this is how you should do it. I'm saying I grow mine, Eric Grundhoefer brand, because then when I go, this is for Rank.K.O or this is for Vanity or this is for, you know, Vanity Social.
Listen, the truth.
It's me almost being the backbone of each one of those brands, but those still have to have their own voice in themselves. Yes. But then I can do anything. Then I can go, handupnow.org. Please give us donations at handupnow.org to send these 22 vets to the Tony Robbins thing, right? I can go those routes because Eric Grundhoefer has a brand.
Yes.
But if I didn't have that and I'm just coming out of nowhere, even though I still own those 3 businesses, no one's going to think anything of it, right?
You're establishing yourself as a subject matter expert.
Exactly.
And people want to listen to somebody who's considered a subject matter expert. By building your personal brand, by building his personal brand along his business brands, when they hear of Eric G, they know of Rank.K.O and they know that they're both powerful because they're two in the same.
Right.
And I think it's imperative that people find out who you are. Because gone are the days if you build it, they'll come. Now are the days where I want to know what you're involved in. I want to know who you support politically. I want to know where your money goes to. If you're a philanthropist, what are you donating to?
Yeah.
All of that is important to people because people invest in people. They don't just invest in services and products anymore.
I agree.
Because the products and services are a dime a dozen. Like you said, I do the same thing as Joe Schmo down the street. I just do it different. But the only way people will understand how you do that different is because they know how different you are,
right?
And what you stand for and what you do.
Exactly. And I'll give you a perfect example actually of this, and this is kind of off topic but on topic. I am super into fitness, as I told you. I've struggled with my weight my entire life, and I got super into physique, doing physique competitions, right? So I did my first one on May 5th this year. I lost 60 pounds to do that, right? So I went from 233 total or something to 167. Wow. And I was like 7 or 8% body fat. Yeah, and it was great, right? So I started, the way I did that was counting your macros. I don't know if you ever heard of that. Counting your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. And I got really into it, and I got really into the diet aspect of it, and really into the workouts.
80%.
And, you know, I started putting out content on accident, specifically around just my of counting macros, of how I did it, of how I did this. I taught people how to calculate their own macros. I taught people the workouts I was doing, even though nothing was unique or like it's all been done before, but I was just teaching them how I did it. And I had a bigger following and more engagements from a numbers standpoint from the stuff that I wasn't selling anyone. I'm not actually ever selling anyone. Like a lot of my demo isn't me selling ORM or anything. Right.
Education.
So I was like, hey guys, you could do this. I'll teach you how to do your macros. And I'm literally just providing value up front and not asking for a damn thing in return. And everyone loved it. And that's all that led into the Vanity brand and on accident. And it was just this snowball effect, like you said. And it was
your passion.
Exactly. And it was just all hobbies, but that was my brand doing that, giving someone just pure value. And it was expecting nothing in return, and that's what you have to do when creating a brand. Expect nothing in return.
We're gonna pivot real quick.
Yep.
Why Tampa? I love Tampa. I say this every show. You love it.
I love it.
That's why you came down here.
Yeah, Tampa's my favorite.
Why Tampa for you?
I had when I started Rank.K.O, I asked a friend of mine who we've had a falling out actually since, but I'm not going to go into super detail. But he was, we graduated high school together. I asked him if he wanted to do this business with me. He said, yeah, he lived here. So I was, as that day I sold the websites and stuff that I was telling you, I left my job Tuesday and started Wednesday. He was one of the first people that I asked to come on. So I was doing the selling, he was doing the work here in Tampa. And then, so as we got that deal that I was telling you, I used to sell things for $297 a month. And then I sold that same exact service here in Tampa on a phone call, in my car actually, for $1,000 a month. And I was like, more than triple this for the same product in there, and there's no snow. Like, I got to get the hell out of here. So my wife was pregnant with my second kid at the time, Roman. And the second she was okay to go, he was born January 23rd, 2015. The second she was all right to travel, we left and we moved here April 5th, 2015. And then, yeah, never looked back, not once. And then again, me and my business partner had a falling out, and so now Rank.K.O is just completely mine. But I'm so happy about coming here. Like, I literally wouldn't change anything that's ever happened to me.
Beautiful.
I'm so happy just in general in life, and that's what I let guide me, you know?
Look at it.
I know, look at this day.
Unreal.
Look at this day.
And this is actually this is color enhanced, this picture, but this is honestly what the Riverwalk looks like at night.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
It's a beautiful.
There's nothing like it. And you're from Jersey, I'm from Buffalo. It's just dirty everywhere else.
It's dirty all the time.
Yeah, it's horrible, man.
And even in other cities in Florida, I don't think there's a cleaner city.
No, I agree.
I don't know.
I love it here, man.
So
I never want to leave.
Entrepreneurship going in Tampa?
I love it here as well because of the tech community and because like it's so big and there's so much support too. Like, you'll never hear anywhere else of like the Tampa Bay Wave, for instance. Like, they get so much support, and I absolutely love that. And like, you can meet all sorts of different types of people doing different types of things, and there's so much more networking here, and there's so much more like causes here, and like people doing their own thing, and people that want to they want to work, but they want to be happy too. Yes. And that's like the slight difference that I've noticed. Like, don't get me wrong, in New York City there's hustlers, but it's like there's this motto and mentality in New York City that's like, work till you die and work till you die. And I love work and I love what I do, and it really doesn't feel like I'm working at all. So, but there's this,
people vacation.
But you have to put your happiness just as high as your work ethic, and it has to be the same.
Every time I lose my mind, every time I fall off my alignment and my balance, it's because I put all my focus in the results instead of the intrinsic value that I create.
Exactly.
And what I love about Florida in general, but Tampa, is that whenever I feel that way, all I got to do is go to one networking event or go sit down with one friend I made or go talk with someone like him. And he's here, I'm here, which means nothing to anybody here. And he'll sit down with me and go, I know what you're going through. This is a way we can help that out. I know some people that I can connect you with will get you through this. And that is everyone in Tampa.
Yeah, every single person.
No barriers to entry. You can come with zero ideas and have no clue what you want to do. And by the end of the week, if you immerse yourself in this community, you will figure out something. I promise you. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And because I think there's a mindset, there's a mindset overhaul coming on in Tampa, because the money's coming in, there's investment coming in from everywhere, low taxes, low barriers to entry, beautiful place to live, beautiful weather, beautiful people,
right.
Mind, body, and soul. I just think this place is the place to be in the next 10 years.
Encompasses everything.
So let's talk mindset then. You know, how were you able to overcome some of your personal struggles and insecurities to transcend where you were making no money for those 3 months to actually doing things to where you're like, I can't believe how much money I'm making right now. I can't believe the success I'm finding right now. Like, I know it's never enough, but to finally break that echelon and be like, oh, I can sustain myself on my own ideas.
Right.
That's got to be something.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. And honestly, like, even though, you know, Rank.K.O is, I think, going on 5 years now, and that Rank.K.O was my second business. Prestige Fitness Solutions was the first, so that was even farther. But
Prestige
just
worldwide.
Exactly, dude. Everyone says that. So it's so funny. And like, we didn't even think, like, Step Brothers was huge. We didn't even think about it at the time, and we were like, we made the biggest mistake. We made the biggest mistake. So it was just too funny. But just going from, because I didn't make much money at the personal training firm, because we had 2 other partners, and it was like, whatever, you know. And but we were in Buffalo. Exactly. So Rank.K.O, you know, when we started out and it was just doing this thing, and it finally got to a place where we could sustain on its own, it was like, just, this is amazing. I'm so happy right now. But like, we were broke for the longest time. Like, there were times where I was like, yo, I need a Red Bull right now or else I can't work, but I can't buy a Red Bull because I can't afford it. Like, I can't afford a $3, and this, I don't even drink Red Bull anymore, by the way, sugar-free Rockstar all day, but
give me that Tory.
Yeah, exactly, I need it. But, you know, it's just one of those things where it's just like, I remember those days. They weren't that long ago. Like, they were literally like 2, 3, 4 years ago, and it's just the struggles of, not only that, though, because you're going through, I'm broke, I'm still learning, I'm still trying to figure out my processes. Yeah, I'm still trying to do this. And then, like, that is a downward spiral, because you're like, you know, oh, I don't want to work out because I need to focus on my business. And then that messes with you, because then you get down on yourself physically. So I was, you know, I've struggled with my weight, but when I started my business, I was in shape, and then I consistently worked out, and then you have these crappy meals, you have pizza, you have the Red Bulls, you have this, that, and you gain all this weight, and then I'm like, dude, I got to start putting myself first and my happiness first. And then the second I started doing that and started going, be real, be authentic, put your happiness first, do you, and everything else will come. Everything just worked out, man. Like, working out, losing all that weight, confidence boost. Everyone was like, wow, this guy is like, actually knows what he's talking about. He's being real. I like the vibe he's giving me. Some people, maybe not everyone.
Like by everybody.
Exactly. So it just all worked out, and then it made me go, like, okay, that opened up my eyes after you break through that little barrier that you're always talking about of, this is why this happened. You needed to be this low so you could be this high. Yep. And I think, you know, I actually think right now, even though I'm still on a very high, I think this is going to be one of my lows that I'm already coming into, because I can see it where I am with business and what's going on.
Dude, it's the ebbs and flows of life.
Exactly,
you can't
man.
Avoid it.
And I'm the type of person too. I'll literally work 80 to 100 hours a week, and then like 1 week, and then I'll freaking crash the next week, and then I will literally like
nothing. I won't even get out of bed.
Exactly, man. There'll be 3 straight days, and I'm like working from my phone, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm like hiding, and then I'll do what you did. You go listen to an audiobook, you go listen to a podcast, you watch an inspiring movie.
It's really important that we don't beat ourselves up for that time either.
Agreed.
Because we just need to get, like, I was beating myself up the last week and a half because of how tired I was. I haven't been able to do everything that I need to do.
Yeah.
Still worked, still got a lot done, but it wasn't good enough.
Right.
And what I realized is that it's okay. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to take time to yourself. It's okay to take a break or not do anything. Like, that is what you're talking about. Take care of yourself first, and everything else will take care of it from there.
Yeah, man, 100%. And like, that's the biggest thing is like, people will be like, no, you gotta plow through those plateaus. You gotta plow through this. You gotta plow through that. No, you gotta do what's best for you and what you think's best for you. And if your brain's telling you to chill out for 2-3 days and go lay in your bed and freaking cry and eat popcorn, do that.
Your subconscious knows you better than you do.
Exactly. And if your brain is also telling you, listen, you're being a freaking loser right now, you need to get your shit together and you gotta go, then you gotta go. But don't, like, I can't have my friend, you know, my best friend Alan, who's a pharmacist, tell me that to do this and that. Not only are we in different industries, we're 2 entirely different humans. What's good for Alan isn't good for me. And what's good for you isn't good for me. You know what I mean? Like, vice versa. We might have similarities, but you get what I mean.
Everybody's different.
Exactly.
So you also learning yourself.
Exactly. Self-awareness is huge. And as this whole entire process of entrepreneurship has gone down, self-awareness has been such a big thing.
And that's why self-development is taking off in this country and in the world in general, is because people want more.
Yep.
And the only way you can get more is if you get out of your own way.
Right.
Because we've been programmed to be sheep. And I don't care who you are. We have all been programmed to just produce, pay your taxes, and perish. And that, unfortunately, that's just what it is.
Yep.
But we don't have to be, because it's a choice. It takes a little more work, it takes a little more self-awareness, but if you have a want or will for something more in your life and you don't know what it is, go for it.
Yep.
But you got to be self-aware, and it's all on you. So what are some good resources for young entrepreneurs that are getting into the game and trying to make stuff happen for themselves?
When I started, one of the first audiobooks I've ever listened to, and I've never been a big reader. I was literally like, I failed a ton of classes in high school. I dropped out of college, like I said, because I had a kid. You know, so when I started, like, reading was like a new thing to me. I hate actually physically reading, so I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And like everyone should be able to listen to like one audiobook a month. The first one I listened to was Grant.K.O 10X. It's a great book.
Yeah.
It's literally just whatever you're doing. If you're thinking about going after one person, go after 10. It's literally like exactly what it sounds.
Okay.
But it was such a motivating book. What I really like too is the author reads them in the audiobooks. So that's really good. Grant Cardone's great. Gary Vaynerchuk's great. Tim Ferriss is great. These are all, you know, entrepreneurs that are doing it. Grant Cardone's in Miami, actually.
Yeah, I met him.
Have you?
Yeah, I helped to put on the Les Brown experience, and I got to meet him.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
he's an animal.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah,
like, and the dude's just, I like that he's himself too.
Yep.
And he slurs his words and he talks and he seems like a crazy old man at times, but he's a good dude, and he's providing a lot of value to people. So his book was phenomenal. I've read every single one of Gary Vaynerchuk's, and you can find so much free content online. The people that I like might not be the people that you like.
300,000 Amazon books.
Exactly, and not even
I'd
just
say about 250,000 were self-help.
Exactly, man, and not even just Amazon books, but these shows that they're doing, shows like this,
Yes, absolutely.
shows like
Podcasts
people,
and stuff like that.
100%,
Yeah.
man. And like what was motivating to me was these people that are entrepreneurs that started with nothing, like I did, and then now they're millionaires.
Man, with Damon John. Have you read that one?
No, is it good?
Oh my gosh,
I'll check that out.
It's talking about some of the Julianne Huffington and how she'd be able to start a Huffington Post. She had no money in her pocket, with her back against the wall. We're talking Under Armour. It has the story of Under Armour.
I like that
the
story.
of Tesla and SpaceX with
Elon
Musk, and how he had no money in his pocket. I mean,
Yeah.
Nike, Leanne's cheesecakes, like Bo's bow ties. I mean, I'm talking some of the biggest names that you hear today that are crushing it.
All almost failed.
All almost failed, but just didn't quit. And
Yeah, man.
my friend gave me that book when I was where I am this week, where I was in the summer, and it saved me. I'm gonna re-listen to it actually, because what they did is they took that feeling of overwhelmed, broke, and just don't know what to do, and used it as a tool to empower them.
Yeah, man.
So, if you have one sage piece of advice to give a veteran entrepreneur who's trying to make it out here, what would it be?
I would literally say, learn as much as you possibly can, and like just consume all the stuff that you just told us, because it's motivating. Like it kind of helps you write your own story by listening to these other people's stories, and it helps you kind of feel out what you actually want. You know what I mean? You reverse engineer what they're doing and how they did it, and you take certain things from what they're doing and how they did it. I would say do that. But like, be your authentic self as you're doing it. Don't try to be something you're not. So learn as much as you can from these big players, but stay true to yourself and follow your passion all the way, because you're gonna 100%, like, I know so many people I literally know so many people that are miserable, and they make 6 figures a year, and I know people that are happy as hell living in the small town that I grew up in called Silver Creek, and they make $40,000-$50,000 a year, and like my town has one stoplight. I had a graduating class of 108. These people, there's not much to do in this town. These people are so happy, and I'm like,
such good drinkers.
Yeah, exactly. That's why people in Buffalo, man, wings and beer. That's it. Yeah. So like, I love Buffalo, by the way. I know it sounds like I'm roasting them, but I really do love Buffalo. Yeah. Yeah, man, like, so follow your passion, make sure that you're putting your happiness above everything else, be yourself, because that's also going to help you be happy, and then find like these mentors and role models that you can consume their content to reverse engineer what they've done, and then that'll help you set you on the right path. At least if it doesn't, it'll help you at least get started, and that's really, I think, the most important thing, because then you can figure it out along the way.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks so much for having me.
For bringing on the show.
Appreciate
this concludes Vetting America, episode 22. I'm so happy to have Eric on the show. He just provided so much value. And if you feel that anyone you know, any veteran you know, really could gain from listening to what Eric said today, listening to what I had to say today, please send it to them. Please like this video. Please share it. Please share it to your Facebook groups. If you want to sponsor an episode, I could really use your help. If you want to donate to the show, I can definitely use your help. I want to take this as big as I can get it. I want to take this across the country. I really want to impact people's lives every single day of my life, and I could really use your help in doing that. Eric's going to be over here. I'm going to be working close with him, because he's going to change the game for me, I believe. Again, Rank.K.O for all your social media and personal brand management needs. Vanity Social is coming around the corner.
Yep.
And Tampa's where it's at. So I'd really like to shout out to the Attic Cafe in downtown Tampa for another week of just everything you guys give me. And thank you, Anthony Kovic of the Tampa Post, for being here every week with me as well. My life's changed forever, and I've surrounded myself with amazing people, and I think That's the biggest thing that I could give to anybody else, is surround yourself with those who are doing great things, because you are inevitably going to help them do great things, and you yourself will do your own great things. So thanks again, Eric.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank everybody at home, and have a wonderful afternoon.